The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to today's edition of the Arbortext Monster Garage. My name is Liz Fraley. I'll be your moderator today. I'd like to advise everyone that today's presentation will be recorded for replay purposes. Before we begin, I'd like to go over a few logistics. The lines are muted. If at any time you experience technical difficulties, use the question window in the GoToWebinar panel, and I'll be with you shortly. If you have questions during the session, please feel free to submit them through the question window. Unless you tell me otherwise, I'll ask your question for you at the next opportune moment. However, if you would like to be unmuted so you may ask your question directly to our presenter, please just let me know. We'll answer questions during the presentation and at the end. Remember, with Arbortext in your tool chest, you can do anything. This morning, we are very lucky to have Brandon Ibach. Brandon is a longtime Arbortext user. He's one of the main voices on the Adapters mailing list, and he's our go-to guy for a lot of us, especially if anyone has customization or configuration questions. Today, he's going to show us a few tricks you can do with your DCF file to improve your editing experience. Now I'll turn the presentation over to today's shop coach, Brandon Ibach. Brandon, it's all yours.
Thank you very much. And let me get my screen up here momentarily. Yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about DCF files, which is one of those things you probably may have seen reference to, and not just yet another three-letter acronym that makes no sense really, but we'll talk a little about what that file can do for you. Basically, DCF file is a document type configuration file, and really what DCF file is all about is all of the kind of more advanced features, the features in Arbortext Editor that really make it a lot easier to use, make it more comfortable, particularly for users coming from other environments like Microsoft Word and so on. So a lot of the features that they're familiar with in Word are present in Editor as well. But in order for Editor to perform all of those functions intuitively in a smooth fashion, it needs to know a few things about your DTD. So for instance, the ubiquitous bold button, if bolded letter B, that's on one of the toolbars in Microsoft Word, is also present in Editor. But in order for Editor to make that work, it needs to know what tag to insert into your document in order to make the text that the user selected bold. So that's kind of what DCF file is all about, and we'll cover that and a few other tricks related to those ideas. So I decided we needed a theme this week because there was actually a major holiday just a couple of days ago in celebration of the 34th anniversary of the release of the original Star Wars movie back in 1977. May 25th was a major holiday for advocates. It was Geek Friday. So we've got a geek-themed Monster Garage today. So today we're going to actually build, assembled a real simple document type, which I'll go ahead and bring up right now, and you can kind of see what all is involved here. The name of our document type is
Brandon?
Book. Yes?
All we're seeing is a black-blue background.
Oh, okay. Let me double check. Maybe need to give it a minute here.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Wrong window. You can see the browser window now?
Yes, we can see the browser window.
Okay. All right. So we switch over to Editor quickly. I was just going to run through quickly just to give you an idea of what kind of tags we have in here in case you don't speak Geek or DTD, rather. I'll translate quickly. We just have Geek Book is the name of our top-level tag, like you have a document tag in most DTDs. It's allowed to have it's required to have a title and one or more chapter elements. Chapters are similar. They have titles, a collection of stuff, which could be paragraphs or sequential lists, random lists, images and tables, and so on. And you can also have sections. Sections also pretty similar, and have a collection of these items and subsections. and then pretty basic sequential lists for numbered lists, random lists for bulleted lists, paragraphs, list items, a few inline tags like emphasis to provide different types of formatting effects, bold, italic, underline, and small caps. Superscript, subscript, I kind of want to just try and cover all of the different types of formatting that that are common in documents that Arbortext provides explicit support for. And then some tags for linking or embedding images, and then actually just make a reference to a commonly used table model, so we can include some tables in our document. So the next thing I want to show you is the DCF file that corresponds to this, and Arbortext is going to show up to us using the document map mode, which allows you to expand and collapse all of these elements. But basically, the document configuration file is an XML file, like a lot of the configuration files within Arbortext. The top-level element has a wide range of the very first element inside of the top-level element, rather, the options element, has a pretty broad range of options that you can set. You can enable various features like the application toolbar, which we'll see in just a minute. That's what provides some of those features I was talking about. You can control whether your user can have access to the touch-up menu, which provides some additional formatting capabilities beyond maybe what the tags in your document allow. Whether they can have access to Styler if you have the licenses installed for that, or if you're using the screen display only version of Styler that's included with Editor, and whether they can make modifications to Posse if you're using that for style sheets. Specify what our default table model is here, which is the CALS table model, which is the default for most DTDs. Specify things like additional dictionaries for spell checking if you have local ones. Specify an ID attribute that's used frequently throughout your DTD on different tags, whether you want equations, and a variety of other features that you can turn on and off. Document protections, you can make parts of the document read-only and so forth. The only thing I've set here besides the defaults is specifying an ID attribute so that we can try and get IDs better supported. We'll look at that in a little bit here. Further down in the element options, I've told Arbortext what elements represent divisions or major structural sections of my document. So I've got the section element and the subsection element for a nested division inside of section. I've also, I've also specified some of the special elements within my document type that should get special treatment. So I've told Arbortext that para represents a paragraph. Item also represents a type of paragraph. The link tag is what will provide linking support, and the ref attribute is used for ID ref style links from one part of my document to another part, and the URI attribute is used for making references to the resource on the web somewhere, or externally. And finally, for graphics, I have an element called image. And the href attribute specifies the name of the file that we're making a reference to, and then the height, width, and scale attributes allow us to control the sizing of that image in our published document. The text styles is what I mentioned before, where we can set up which elements and attributes provide different formatting effects. So we use the emphasis element for bold with an attribute of type set to a value of B for bold. Similarly, I for italic, U for underline, and S for small caps. And then we have separate tags, the sub and sub tags for subscript and superscript. also configured the lists that we support within our document type. So a rand list will give us a bulleted list, and item is used to tag each item within that list. And then seq list or sequential list gives us a numbered list. And then finally, this is actually a new section in version 5.4 of Arbortext. The version 5.4 provides some enhanced capabilities for pasting rich text, such as you might have in Microsoft Word document or in a web page. And so Arbortext needs a little more information about how to convert that rich text into a form that will work in our document. So we've specified here that our primary division, or our top-level division tag, that's actually above the section tag that we mentioned earlier, is chapter. The title element provides the title for a division at any level, either chapter, section, or subsection level. And the table element is the primary wrapper if we're going to put a table into our document. So, with all of that set up, I've also set up a basic style sheet I just created in Styler. It took about maybe 10 or 15 minutes to basically specify some of these same basic types for my elements. So now I can go ahead and create a new document. And actually, I've just placed these files. In fact, I can actually bring it up here just to show you how easy it was to set this up. This is the directory that I have set up as my custom directory for my Arbortext installation. So I've got folders like we had talked about this a few weeks back. The document types, doc types directory is where I installed custom document types. I can put graphics files in here and have Arbortext automatically find all these things just by pointing to this one directory. So to set up this document type, I just created a folder underneath doc types with the same name as the DTD, and all I've really got in here is just the DTD file that I just typed up right inside of Editor using it in text mode. The DCF file, which I actually built in Editor as an XML file, so Editor actually helped me build that, told me which elements I could place where, what attributes were allowed, and then the style file, which I created using Styler, and then the template I just actually Arbortext built that template for me. I just saved it as a default starting point for new documents of this type. So I'm going to go ahead and select my peak book, document type. Oops. Close off my windows here. Just a moment, get back up here. Go ahead and create new document. And if I go ahead and actually I can use the application toolbar here, which I mentioned earlier, that provides a lot of the basic formatting capabilities: bold, italic, underline, numeric bulleted, and numeric lists. It has items for promoting and demoting nested lists, for creating divisions and paragraphs. So if I go ahead and say insert division right here, or just insert paragraph, we'll go ahead and create that para tag for me without me having to remember what the name of that paragraph tag is. And I can make use of the application toolbar here to format my text, much as I would in a word processing type of application. So that gives a kind of rough overview of the types of capabilities that the DCF file can enable. However, I think really the best feature that this enables, like I said, is actually the new copy-paste functionality that was provided with 5.4. And to demonstrate that, actually created a brief page here. It's got headers at different levels: first level header, second level header, third level header, some paragraphs in between featuring some various types of formatting: bold, italics, and underlines, super and subscripts, and some ordered and bulleted lists. I've got an internal link here back to an earlier point in the document, and an external link off to the Arbortext.com website. And I've also an image that I pulled off that site, and a short table at the end here. So, certainly this might represent a reasonable sampling of the types of formatting you might find in some legacy documents, something that's built in Word, or some web pages that you might be looking to bring into a more structured authoring solution. And typically, unless you were dealing with immense volume, where it made sense to get some automation tech tools in place to help automate the version of that, this generally meant going in and grabbing every little piece of text that was formatted differently and dropping it in and manually tagging all of these things one at a time. And so what the new version of Arbortext does is it simplifies the process significantly. I can go ahead and select everything here, copy this, switch back over into Editor here, and I'm going to place the cursor right where I can insert a chapter. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste. It's going to tell me that the building history results takes a little bit. It actually runs the Arbortext import-export tool to do the conversion here, which it dynamically configures on the fly based on the information in my DCF file and in the style sheet that I created. And now you can see I've actually got all of the structure that was included in that document. It actually built the chapter and section and multiple subsections inside that section. It picked up the bold and italic and underline formatting that I had in line in my paragraphs, the superscript and subscript. It set up my numbered and bulleted list. It picked up the links, both internal and external. And it created the table. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'll do this in just a moment. If I save this document first, this is just an anonymous, unnamed document. I'm going to save this. So it's got a place on disk for it. And if I go ahead and paste now that there's a place on disk, it actually can place the image file as well, so it has a place to put it, so it knows where to find it, and the image is also embedded right in here.
Awesome.
All right. Are there any questions before I most of what I wanted to show here?
All right, those are good, simple tricks to just make the editing environment a whole lot better. Well, we'll give some folks a couple of minutes to type in their questions. We're right in the question time, and we try to make these short, sweet, and in and out in 30 minutes. So we'll give folks a second or two to type in their questions, and in the meantime, I will bring back up the resources for Arbortext users. Remember that we have a pretty wide and active and communicative community, and these are just some of the resources available to members of the Arbortext community. You can go to the URL at the bottom to see all of these things and be able to click and link directly to them. All right, but next week we're going to have Jack Koulos. He's going to present on how to use XSLT in Arbortext Editor. It's always an asked about capability. He's going to show us how it works and some cool things you can do. I don't have any questions. So we will wrap up a little bit early and get the video posted for anyone who didn't manage to come today. Great. All right, thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you next time.